Pandora. She came through in the end. Now we really have the power to kill God. This is pretty much it. This is the real end of Zeus. We're in this first-person sequence with, admittedly, the least fitting music for a sequence like this in the game. But I like how this is a first-person. You pretty much cannot die or be hit at all. Like, look, Zeus is not even actually able to touch us. Zeus' spirit retreats back to his body. But can Zeus stand up to us again? Now who's afraid, Zeus? At this point, just beating the hell out of Zeus. Continually punching in the screen fills with blood. There's no real point even continuing. Just let it go. And it's over. Truly.
Done well, Kratos. Freed from the bondage of Olympus and cleansed in chaos, mankind is now ready to hear my message.
Look around you, Athena. The world stands in ruin. What good is your message?
Go if you must. But first, I insist you give me the power from inside the box.
The box was empty.
That can't be true. I can see it in your eyes. You used my power to kill Zeus. You still have it as we speak. Don't you understand? When Zeus gathered all the evils and placed them in the box, I dreaded what would happen if it was opened again. And so, I summoned the most powerful weapon in the world, and I placed it in the box.
I told you, it was empty. Pandora was sacrificed in vain. She died because of my need for vengeance.
You must be mistaken. You used my power to kill Zeus. I saw you do it. Unless... Of course. When you opened the box, you released the evils to the gods. Infected them. Changed them. Zeus himself fell prey to the dark evils. This is why he became so enraged and obsessed with your death. He was consumed by the evil, fear. I thought the power I placed in the box was never released. All these years, I assumed you drew from the evils inside to destroy Ares. But I was wrong. The power you took from the box is mine. From it, you gained the strength that Zeus could never destroy. A strength great enough to overcome fear. Locked deep inside of you, Kratos, is hope. It has remained buried, trapped by your guilt and the failures of your past. When you killed Zeus, you must have allowed something to awaken it. What was it, Kratos?
Hope is what makes us strong. It is why we are here. It is what we fight with when all else is lost.
What was it, Kratos?
All I remember is what I have lost.
That is why you should give me the power. I understand its true meaning and where it belongs. I trust you to do the right thing, Kratos.
You shouldn't.
You owe me this, Kratos.
I owe you nothing.
I made you a god. I sheltered you from the wrath of Olympus. I delivered your revenge on Zeus.
It is over, Athena.
You would dare strike me down? Again?
My vengeance ends now.
How could you?
Do we dare strike Athena? Seems that she was affected by an evil herself.
You fool! What have you done? No! That was meant for me! They will not know what to do with it! You disappoint me, Spartan.
And that's the end of the God of War trilogy. So, to explain what happened, basically, Kratos, in fact, drew from the power of hope. Not the evils as... well, let's face it, did anyone really doubt that was the case? And then, that's pretty much responsible for everything in this series. Athena, though, she seems to have been affected by the evil of greed. It wasn't that evident, though. Maybe she was just, like, being clever and coy about it, I guess. But in the end, it looks like she wanted to do something good, but ultimately wanted to take over the world, and she pretty much wanted the power for herself, no other gods, and she wanted to be the sole god. But Kratos very much saw no point. And there's nothing Athena probably could have really done, so Kratos instead just goes to release the power of hope to the world. It's not really going to do much good at this point because the world of God of War is pretty much done for. But it's better than leaving in the hands of someone pure evil. Maybe not pure evil, but evil motives. But yeah, this was great to play through again. Especially with some different views on it. As a whole, this trilogy is seriously worth playing. There's apparently a new game planned. I don't know much on it, but there's been stuff noted. And this God of War 3 is actually getting a remaster on the PS4 in 1080p, which is what developers trying to do for the PS3 version. Hopefully, the content is worthwhile, and maybe they add some other new things. There's not much they can really fix, though. Like, there's no real glitches. I'd be interested in seeing. Maybe they could even port Ascension and fix the problems most of us veterans had. I don't know. But either way, I am not redoing Chains of Olympus. I am perfectly fine with my Let's Play of Ghost of Sparta. Ascension, maybe it'll happen at some point, but it's not on my list. I have other games to do. There's not much I can really say. This is a very fun trilogy. It's a surprisingly deep story. There's a lot more to it. It's not just Kratos is surprisingly pathetic. It's not just a Greek tragedy. There's a lot more to it. It's not like what it seems. And I kind of like that. I also like how even though the developers had God of War planned as a one-off, they were able to sort of recover from that and make it into a fairly deep story. They were able to add some things and they were able to keep everything going. I will say this, I don't know if they really should continue the series, because honestly, it's not just Ascension's gameplay, but what else is there to create as a story? I mean, David Jaffe, I think, had plans to maybe like have Kratos go after another set of gods, the Norse gods, I think. I don't know how that would work. I mean, it would actually be interesting to see another protagonist in a Norse setting, similar to Kratos. But I would not really want to see Kratos go after the Norse gods. I have some complaints with Kratos just being way too powerful at times. I mean, it doesn't make that sense for the prequels making that powerful. I think that's kind of BS. Not to mention all the other things he said. I mean, to go on, I view the series this. God of War is a fine game. The first one is a fine game. No real problems, but I think the sequels do so much more that I easily prefer the other games, but I still respect what God of War tried. I would love to see a remake of the first game with God of War 3's engine and its tweaks to gameplay and everything. I would not want to see one with Ascension at all, unless I combine just the visual aspect. God of War 2 is probably my favorite. I feel very rewarded whenever I complete one of those hard sequences. A few of the sequences are just way too hard, like the translator. Some of the bosses at times, maybe Zeus himself, the endurance run. But I just love what that game added. This God of War 3, it's a close tie between this and 2. 3 has its presentation, which I love. And I did not find the game that hard compared to 2, but I found it in a great middle road. It was not too hard with some exceptions. It was not too easy without some exceptions either. I don't like some of the things with throwing enemies, but as why I love this. Between the PSP games, both of them have problems. Ghost of Sparta, I don't know why, but I lose interest midway through after the already okay beginning. And Ghost of Sparta, I think, just shows the problems the series was starting to have, especially because it really didn't change too much. I did like some of the platforming sequences. That was neat. And Fear's Bane was a neat idea. Chains of Olympus, it's the most combat focused, but the combat in that game, it's actually really easy. It's the easiest God of War, even on very hard, even if you're doing no upgrades. Ascension, I say it's the worst game. I will say this, I think only the veterans who have been playing on very hard, who've just been noticing all the small things, been consistent with the series, I think they really know what's wrong with the game. I think they're the ones who, I think I don't know what they're talking about how bad that game is, because some people don't even seem to notice what's wrong with Ascension. They don't know about the rage mechanic. They think all the games have the same exact mechanics. They don't think there's any real difference. I'm not trying to insult some of the casual players, but I just think that when some of the casuals try to defend the game, when they're like saying, oh no, the mechanics really aren't that changed, or I didn't really notice it, I just think that some of their arguments are valid. There's some good things about Ascension, don't get me wrong, but as a whole, I don't think that game really stands up to the legacy that these games have. Either way, really after Ascension, I'm pretty much done with the series completely. I don't really know what else to say, but there's a story. It's really well done. I like it. I really would say he is one of my favorite protagonists. I have seen people, as of the prequel games, really start to take criticism of him because of how the stories kind of were to him. I think they have some points, but as a whole, his story works. I'm not gonna lie, when I saw the ending of this game, I think I almost cried. Because I was like, he's dead. Kratos actually killed himself. I just wasn't really sure what to say, because I had grown really attached to Kratos at that point, because I played the first two games, and Chains of Olympus up to that point. That was just pretty sad. I was like, he's gone. I mean, sure, we got those prequel games, but it doesn't really matter, because are we really ever going to get us follow-ups to this game? Although, at this point, I don't really want. There's not much criticism I can really say, but I will say this. At times, the combat, it gets a little stale. There are some sequences you just don't like. I can honestly say at this point, maybe I'm not too big into series like I was when I was younger. And that, I don't prefer this over Devil May Cry. I find those two equal in their own ways to me. Like, Devil May Cry, I think, is a little more enjoyable, whereas God of War, I think maybe it's a little more satisfying at times. I don't know. All I know is comparing God of War to Devil May Cry, I hear is asking for a death wish, so I'm not gonna continue with that. There's one thing I can maybe say before getting into the series: don't expect some super deep combat system. But it looks like Kratos is not dead after all. And I came over, apparently! I already was playing on Chaos the whole time, but okay. We get costumes and videos and challenges. So yeah, Kratos, his body's gone. What has happened to it? The Blade of Olympus was there, but the blood showed that he's going toward the cliff, and it looked like actually it was in a, what is it? A phoenix. Either way, we got these costumes. For your Kratos, the skin he has in the beginning. I mean, not in the beginning, in that ending sequence. Phantom of Chaos. I got this for pre-ordering the game at GameStop. I'm actually getting a poster as well later, which is still hanging in my room to this day. And Dominus. Double damage, half damage from enemies, double orbs. This is pretty much like the armors from the first two games, and it's the best costume in the game. All of these costumes are actually DLC, so if you want, you can purchase them. I don't think it's really worth getting, honestly. I mean, I got these all for free, that's why I would use them. Dominus is actually based on concept art from Kratos, as are most of these costumes. It was an original design before to go with the more traditional design we see. This one is a more Spartan armor-based design. There's also a Morpheus armor, I believe, from 7-Eleven. That's pretty much it. Videos, there's a making the animation. I did get a documentary on the series, but what pissed me off was it's a one-time download. Because when I got my new PS3, I was like, okay, maybe I can download that, maybe watch this another time. But no, I can't. If I want to watch, I have to go on YouTube. It was the Making of a Legend, which is a really, really worthwhile documentary to watch. I think it's really worth your time. It talks about a lot of things, like the connections to Greek mythology, the story arcs, and everything. I think it's... If you find it on YouTube, watch it. As for the series, well, I've talked about it. It's worth checking out. I think videos don't really do it justice, because I think videos can get a little boring for the series, because I was watching Super Gaming Brothers Let's Play of it, and I was more interested in their commentary than the actual gameplay compared to like when they were playing other games like Five Nights at Freddy's, the Sonic games, Zelda even. If you're picking an edition of this game to get, go for the Ultimate Edition. It's pretty cheap. The Pandora's box is nice. The art book is really worthwhile. And even if you're getting Ascension, the Collector's Edition is also nice. The Kratos statue is meh quality, but it's a $20 piece that comes with other things like that cool steel book, etc. Either way, thank you all for sticking through with me through this trilogy. I apologize for the delays that happened, but there's a lot to happen. I'm probably going to have to explain that pretty soon. But I'll see you guys for Devil May Cry and my other Let's Play as well. I'm going to explain a few other things, but thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys later.